Who Created God? Exposing the flaws in the cosmological argument, religious thinking, and how humans invent gods to answer fear, not fact. Step 1. What is the cosmological argument? This argument is used by many Christians, Muslims, and other religious believers to prove a creator. The basic structure is, everything that begins to exist has a cause. The universe began to exist. Therefore, the universe has a cause. That cause must be God. This is called the Kalam cosmological argument. At first glance, this seems logical. If everything needs a cause, then something must have caused the universe. But once you look deeper, it contradicts itself and reveals its bias. Step 2. Everything needs a cause. Sounds good, but if we accept the first statement, everything that begins to exist has a cause, then that includes God, if God began to exist. So to avoid this, Christians argue God didn't begin to exist. He's eternal. He has no cause. But here's the logical trick. They're making an exception for their God. This is the core weakness in the argument. Step 3. The special pleading fallacy. What they're doing is committing a logical fallacy called special pleading. Special pleading is when you apply a rule to everything, but then say your thing is the exception, without any valid reason. Example. Rule. Everything must obey gravity. Claim. Accept my invisible floating God. In the cosmological argument. Rule. Everything needs a cause. Claim. Accept God. He doesn't. Problem. They give no evidence why God is exempt. They just say so. It's not logic. It's convenient belief. Step 4. God is eternal. But why can't the universe be eternal? When you ask, who created God? Believers say, no one. God is eternal. He always existed. Fine. But then you can ask, then why can't the universe, energy, or the multiverse always exist? Why assume only God can be eternal? This is another assumption without evidence. The universe might have come from an eternal energy field, a cyclic universe, eternally expanding and collapsing, a multiverse, or a cause we don't yet understand. There is no need to insert God unless you're trying to make belief fit the mystery. Step 5. The God of the gaps problem. When people can't explain something, they often say, God must have done it. This is called the God of the gaps fallacy. Ancient people didn't understand thunder. Zeus did it. Didn't understand floods. The gods are angry. Didn't understand disease. It's a punishment from God. Now we use science. Thunder, electrical discharge, disease, bacteria, viruses, universe, expanding from singularity. When humans don't know something, they create divine explanations out of fear, not evidence. As knowledge increases, gods shrink. Step 6. Science does not say the universe came from nothing. Another common religious claim, the universe can't come from nothing. That's impossible. But that's a straw man, a false version of what science says. The Big Bang Theory does not claim something came from nothing. It says, the universe began expanding from a hot, dense point called a singularity. Time, space, matter, and energy unfolded from this point. What came before the Big Bang is still unknown, and may be unknowable. Also, quantum physics shows that nothing is not really nothing. Even a vacuum is full of energy fluctuations. So again, there's no need for a God. Just because we don't have all the answers doesn't mean God is the answer. Step 7. Who created God is a valid question. If you say everything needs a creator, and your God is a thing that exists, then your God also needs a creator. Christians dodge this by saying, he's outside of time, he's uncaused. But this raises more questions. Where is this outside of time? How can something exist outside space, time, energy, and matter and still do things like create? How do they know anything about this being? Answer: they don't. They believe it. But belief is not evidence. Step 8. Humans created gods, not the other way around. Throughout history, every culture invented gods. Egyptians, Ra, Osiris, Isis. Greeks, Zeus, Hades, Athena. Norse, Odin, Thor, Loki. Mesopotamians, Enlil, Anu, Ishtar. Hebrews, Yahweh. Christians, Jesus as God in human form. Muslims, Allah. These gods were used to explain nature, life, death, fear, morality. Gods are not universal truths, they are cultural products. Each religion claims their God is the real one, and the others are false. But from the outside, they all look the same, humans projecting their hopes and fears onto the universe. Step 9. The psychological need for a creator. Many people believe in a creator not because of logic, but because of emotional needs. Comfort from fear of death, a sense of meaning in life, belief in cosmic justice, bad people will be punished someday, a father figure to protect and guide them, relief from personal responsibility, it's all in God's hands. But these are emotional desires, not proof. Wanting something to be true doesn't make it true, and using religion to cope with trauma, fear, or mystery does not equal evidence for a God. Step 10. You can't use God to prove God. If your only answer for the origin of the universe is God did it, and your only proof that God exists is He created the universe, that's called circular reasoning. It goes like this. The universe exists because God made it. I know God is real because the universe exists. That's not logic. That's a loop. Final thought. If God doesn't need a creator, then neither does the universe. If we can accept the idea of something uncreated, then a God is not required. The question, who created God, exposes the flaw in religious thinking. Either everything needs a cause, then God needs one too, or not everything needs a cause, then God is not necessary.